Hey guys, thanks for coming back to my channel. Today we have a video we're going to watch about the 10 biggest lies that people say about the Philippines. People lie about the Philippines.
How dare you?
At number 10, Filipino women are submissive and quiet. Like every other country though, women come in a variety of attitudes. Some a little bit more attitude prone than others. But either way, Filipinas are just a conservative type of woman. According to sources, Filipino women, they find it uncomfortable to mingle or even interact with male foreigners and even their own men. They also have a reputation of being quiet and shy, but this is normally because they feel that they don't have the adequate skill of speaking English to the foreigners. So instead of speaking nonsense, they remain silent. The next lie.
That is the exact thing I'm experiencing with this Filipino I'm talking to. Oh my God.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
And I have to say, it is a little bit frustrating. It's like you're speaking English well. I'm not having any issue understanding you. I don't know why you feel so self-conscious about this. I don't know why you feel so self-conscious about speaking to a foreigner. Like at no point have I'm trying to make you feel uncomfortable. I just feel like I'm trying to be very open and welcoming and stuff. And it's just like I have to sit there and break down walls in order to get it into their head. Okay, it's fine. We're just people. We're all people. I understand it's not your first language.
Is that the Philippines is one land mass. This is something that I've been guilty of thinking myself. But there's actually over 7,000 islands that make up the Philippines, and around 2,000 of them are inhabited. And this is known as an archipelago, which is a collection of islands or sometimes a sea containing a small number of scattered islands. Now, the Philippines has a total land area of 300,000 square kilometers, which works out to be 115,831 square miles. This makes it the world's largest island country.
Was there a dude just cycling through traffic there? Let me go back. What the hell? Yeah, there's some dude behind that white SUV and the white minivan in between. There's a dude on a bicycle driving through the middle of traffic on a bicycle. What is going on here? Shit, if you did that here, like, you would get honked, somebody would hit you.
You did. You crazy son of a bitch, you did.
Island country. The Philippine archipelago is divided into 3 island groups: Luzon, Visayas, as well as Mindanao. The lie number 8 is Filipinos don't speak English. So when tourists visit the country of the Philippines, they're usually surprised at the fact that Filipinos, they actually learn English as their first language. Most Filipinos also learn it alongside Tagalog growing up. Although some Filipinos will have a distinct accent while speaking English, English-speaking tourists will have little or no trouble at all communicating with them. And this actually leads us to our next lie.
They say things like, "Good morning. That's so great. I'm so happy." It's like everything they say, they're very happy about it. That's how it comes off. It's always so happy. But it seems like they're happy people, so maybe that's why. It's just everything, they're happy about it.
And this lie is that Filipinos only speak Tagalog. This lie and misconception is similar to the idea that Chinese people speak Chinese, when in fact they speak a wide variety of languages like Mandarin, Cantonese, etc. In the Philippines though, Tagalog is one of many dialects spoken in the country. Back in the year 1937, the government adopted Tagalog, elevating its status as a national language of the Philippines, also calling it Filipino, and it has since become mixed with other existing Philippine dialects as well as foreign languages like English and Spanish. Now, when it comes to native languages and dialects, there are more than 200 in the entire country. Number 6, all Filipinos share the exact same culture. So being an archipelago, like I mentioned earlier, historically there was no actual Philippines to refer to. The different groups of islands being separated by large bodies of of water, they contained their own distinct culture and language and traditions. Because of this, they were very distinct from each other. So then the movement for a united Philippines didn't come until the arrival of the Spanish, which was much later on though.
Spaniards kind of brought them all together. That's interesting.
In at line number 5, we have Filipinos are nannies and call center agents.
Okay. They're not all that, but there is a lot there. Be honest. And you should have added nurses.
The Filipino nurse in America, a story of dedication and duty diminished by stereotype, is truly what Sinisa Choi called a story of unsung heroes.
That's all they're good for. Okay, so Filipinos may just be very good at delivering these types of services, and because of that, there's a high demand for their skills in other countries. However, not everyone shares the same dream job interest. There's actually millions and millions of Filipinos living and working overseas with completely different professions, like doctors and nurses and singers. Yeah, Filipinos sing really good. That's another stereotype, but I think there's like some facts to that. You'll find Filipino entrepreneurs, IT specialists, engineers, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on. So no, they're not just nannies and they don't just work in call centers overseas. So line number 4 is Manila is the main business district, and this is something that I thought as well, I'm not gonna lie. Contrary to what many foreigners think, most of the embassies and big firms, banks, and insurance companies, they're actually located in Makati and Taguig City. Makati and Taguig are located within the Greater Manila area. Now, Manila is the capital city of the Philippines, and it is one of the most populated cities, but it is not necessarily where all the main action happens. Number 3, have you heard this one before? Dog meat is regularly eaten and...
Oh God, they say that about every Asian country. I swear, I've heard this exact thing said about every Asian country. It's like China, Vietnam, Japan, whatever, Malaysia, they're all like, they're eating dog meat. I was like, oh my God.
네, 네, 먹어봤습니다.
지금도
이게 저는 그런 거예요. 그 소고기나 뭐 돼지고기를 오리고기를 먹듯이 그냥 다양한 선택지 중에 하나일 뿐이지.
Served. Okay. All right. So no, they don't sell dog meat in Filipino supermarkets and grocery stores. Eating dogs in Philippines it's a very taboo topic, and there actually are a few small groups, mostly of them are in the northern region of the country in the mountain province, where indigenous people as well as their ancestors have had a history of eating dog meat, but you're not gonna be finding it at restaurants or in grocery stores just like that. No, that doesn't exist. Number 2, Filipinos date foreigners for money and paper.
This is definitely true. It's definitely true. How dare you?
I ain't saying she a gold digger.
Yes, we know that love exists outside of our countries. People can love each other in other places, I know.
All right, guys, so these ideas are largely perpetuated because of shows like 90 Day Fiancé, let's be honest, okay? But not all Filipinos dream of becoming an American or British citizen or whatever. Some just love to travel and meet new people along the way. Just because Filipinos date and marry foreigners also doesn't mean that they're just looking for visa applications, making that whole process easier and everything. Filipinos, they can afford to fund their own travels themselves, get their visas, and do their jobs in foreign countries, so they don't necessarily need a foreign partner to do so. Marrying a Filipino actually does not mean that the foreigner has to support the Filipino's family either. You know, there's a lot of times where people move overseas and it's like, okay, well, you gotta send money back to my family. Not saying there's anything wrong with that, but it's unfair to label Filipinos with that stereotype. And yes, so it is a sad reality that because they date foreigners, it's assumed that they're just gold diggers. But if you actually think about it, just because someone dates somebody from a foreign country doesn't mean that that person is rich either. So yeah, something to think about there. And now moving.
That's very true. Yeah, it doesn't mean you're rich. It just means you have enough money to travel, but it doesn't mean you're rich. Just trying to find somebody to date and share your life with. As are we all.
So say we all!
On to our biggest lie in this episode, Philippines. It's a very dangerous country. Now, we've all seen the news reports. Many foreigners, they hear about Philippines' war on drugs, among other struggles that they have in the country. And this has led foreigners to think that the Philippines is a place of criminals and kidnappers everywhere. Now, there are, of course, several unfortunate issues in the country, but overall, away from the hotspots of criminal activity, there are many beautiful places and safe places that you'll see in the Philippines. Not just the resorts designed for tourists, but many local places as well, completely safe.
Well, that was interesting. Bunch of those I had heard, and I don't think that, what was there anyone that I actually believed? I don't think so. Oh, maybe the one about the nurses and nannies and whatever. And I know they're not all nurses and nannies and call center agents, but there's just a lot of them that do that job for whatever reason. It's probably because they speak good English, and so it makes it very easy to put a call center in Manila or wherever in Philippines. And so they're just like, well, why wouldn't we? They speak English, they're going to be cheaper labor, so why wouldn't we just do that, these big companies? And then I think the women, because they're very caring and like to look after people, like they're very traditional, they make good nannies and nurses. Well, hopefully you guys learned something out of this video too, and you enjoyed it, and we will see you again on the next one. Bye.